And people don't tell people this because if they tell you that, they can't sell you anything. It don't mean that they can't, that a server now is worthy of their hire. That doesn't mean that if somebody's doing you a service that you shouldn't compensate them, but it can only be, it has to be separate from the actual thing. Meaning that if you want me to file a paper for you, some legal document to you relative to sovereignty, then I could charge you for me burning gas and going down there. It has to be a separate bill, separate from the paper, but the paper can only be administrative costs. And it has to be distinct, and it has to be record, it has to be recorded to the Treasury where it can be referred to in the future. There's no Treasury in between where it's just mine, you know. And same paper, but it doesn't bind the other party. See, because you can't sell government. Once you sell it, it's corrupt. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's dead. And my interest is, because the world is waking up, because our people are waking up, is to try to make sure people get this information in the proper concept. Because this is the new thing that's generating finance for corporate states. People filing UCC 1 millions and everything else like that. Filing papers, getting apostilles, a whole bunch of other stuff. Generating finance for the state for rights that already belong to them. You just need to exercise them. And then you need to come together in unity and operate your different territories as regency governments. That's how it's done. You have to have treasurers, officers that operate, election periods, time that's regular session. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then all these things that you need to do in the different territories, you do it in your territories. And then we come together on a greater thing when we progress to deal with international issues. That's what should be taught. And I know it's not taught because people are seeing the opportunity to make a living off of people. So they're not going to tell you that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because when you exercise a birthright, it's only supposed to cost you administrative, meaning it costs finance to uplift a nation. So like it costs finance to produce this, right? So if I'm going to charge you for this, I have to charge you what it costs to print it. And then if it costs us 20 looks in gas, I'll add that to it. It has to be listed, come through the treasury. But as soon as I put 2 cents more that's profit motive, it's no longer binding. Because it's no longer government. There's no obligation to another party that I'll give it to. The law is the same. See, because once you're corrupt, once you stoop to corruption, you can't argue their color. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, I can't keep arguing with you about cleaning up your, yeah man, I'm standing right here by the fence. And I'm man, you know, I do all over your yard, man. Clean that doo over your yard. And you know that doo over there, I'm standing in my yard in the pile of doo while I'm talking about yours. And the deal is, this is what we do. We keep on talking about the European being colored, and then we keep doing colored things with each other and to each other. Do you understand? So we must become moral and ethical if we want to argue moral and ethical.
That's right.
Because that's what brings the law. Because it's based on honor, sacred honor, and integrity. And if you don't have it, you can't argue about somebody else's. That's why we lost the birthright. We're violating those principles of our ancient fathers. That's why we fell. That's why Rome ruling and we ain't. You understand? It's not complicated. But again, that's why we got to remind people of the European, why, you know, like in secret, why they Moscow in secret, why they playing all this holy roly, hallelujah to you stuff for the TV and start raising funds. When they finish all that and raise their funds, they go to the bank and they go to secret society, put their feds on and study your culture. You understand?
It does. Say, at the time of the executive, the executive on the pulse. Right? I was black. I wasn't a persona. Can I then go and chase to my...
No, you go correct. See, this is what point. Once you understand what your rights are, if there's flaws, you go back and correct them. That's what affidavits are for. So this is another reason why we're teaching you writs and affidavits, so you know how to structure them. How you know how to speak for yourself. status. Because if you know those are correct, you know that they're going to come back and try to steal it, but you lock the doors on them. You understand what I'm saying? I feel pretty sorry. Excuse me, I got close. I'm hoarse, I just don't have a side. But
I want to know if what I'm hearing is once one gets into a state where this property want to be reclaimed from it, I wonder if this is applicable before we get to that state.
yes, it's applicable. This is, I'll tell you what our weakness is. I already know where you're going. Our weakness is a lack of unity. And months ago, when we went through the lesson of it as cheating. For those who weren't here, write down this word, because this is very important. Because this is what the state is using under wardship, with your inheritance, with your cars, with the houses, with the land. Wardship, they don't have to account for the body or the lands of the infant heir. The process, the legal process is, remember we went to this before. And this is where, under wardship, it reverts back to the ward keeper, the lord of the state, under feudal law, because the heir or is considered incompetent or the descendancy is broken. Say like the baby, like she has the baby, right? So in law, and this is how they use that birth certificate, the marriage certificate, etc. The state claims the child and has broken the line, the natural course of descendancy. And in breaking the natural course of descendancy, the child is disinherited by the process, legal process. The process that takes place at that point is under the wardship powers. The state escheats the inheritance. This is how the states got wealthy. That's how they got all the land. That's how they got the house. Now, you being in your proper person and being in unity, i.e. unity in politics, means national. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is why we know Darlene was on the scene in the teens and in the early 20s, when he told the Moors to put their property in the Moors Divine National Movement. Because as government, you reverse the process. They would use the same power that the state did to reverse it, but you have to be in government order. So if you don't understand government, you ain't going to be doing that, are you? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You can do it right now with property around here. Except as you do it as an individual and they come at you, you have limited authority because you're acting as an individual with the sovereignty of the state. However, even though you have the right to exercise the powers of state, that's another reason why you put your political state before you, between your dealings with them, to let them know that you have declared your state of affairs. Because that's the political sovereignty. Do you understand what I'm saying? And without it, you deal with them indirectly or directly without your political state between you, then you're subordinated. You see what I'm saying? Because your sovereignty is in your nation, in your dealings with other nations. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are fundamental civic rules. And so if you know these rules, you understand why they have international law. And if you're not of a nation, you ain't talking no international law. You can't enforce it because you're not part of a nation. You see how that works? Huh? Wow. And when they see that you're a part of a nation, and they got a treaty or under constitutional binds, the judge of every state is bound to it. So they're going to start talking about you can't do nothing. And you're talking about you're bound. Well, the state law says no. I think you look at Article 6 says any laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. Well, when you didn't read that.